Welcome back to an episode of Tinting with Friends. Actually, we're not tinting with friends. I mean, we are, me and Casey, but yeah, no, we got a really, we got this nice dirty old gasket. So when I'm doing these bad boys right here, one of the things I'm looking for, I'm looking at the gaskets. See how tall it is right there? It's all nice and tall, but it's sucked in up here. If you get lucky, you could pop them out, but not this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my razor in here at an angle, and I'm actually gonna notch out a little bit of a V pattern here, so I have a place to hide my tint. Also, it's gonna get rid of some of that dirt that's sitting on top of that gasket that's been there for years, and a little bit up here. Not too bad though, all in all. Just cleaning it up, that's all we're doing. Making it so we can hide the tint, so there's no light gaps. I am going to get her wet, and actually, if I was smart, because this is going to drip, we're going to make a mess. We're going to hide that right underneath there, catch all the dirty water. So let's give this a scrubbing, shall we? But this thing's so dirty, and this really helps get all the channels nice and clean. All right, go figure. Old vehicle, dirty gaskets. So we take my hard card, wrap it in this towel. I'm gonna get in there and really scrub these guys out. But you'll see why I'm spending so much time cleaning these. Obviously, it's always good to do a deep cleaning, but there's also a rhyme to the reason. It's getting a lot better. Clean up the metal housing or frame. There we go. So that was pretty damn clean. Now there's multiple ways to make a pattern for this. One of the most common ones is you take a clear liner and you're going to trace the outline right here, or cut it with your blade. But I'm going to go grab one of those right now. There we go. So I got my clear liner on here, and once again, there's multiple ways to do this. There's no such thing as one way is the right way. It's just whatever works for you. But for today, this is going to work for me. Mark it here with my nice white pen. Not too concerned about how perfect this line is on the sides and the top, more on the bottom. And it'll make sense in a minute. There you go. Got myself a little bit of a pattern here. Oh, we're almost ready to go tint. All right, so I'm gonna make it a little easier on myself. Since we have two windows, I'm gonna make two patterns in one shot, because why not? Here's my liner right there. We'll fold it in on itself. We're not really concerned about the direction of shrinking, because we're not gonna have to shrink these, they're so flat. So no worries there. You can just put this on however you see fit. So here's our lines. Pretty cool, I drew myself. I drew myself the lines.
Good thing you got that art degree.
I was hoping, yeah, you'd chime in with something cool. Hell yeah. So, I'm gonna cut this line right here. Here it is. I'm gonna make it bigger. Once again, there's a reason for it, but let's make our pattern, and let's make our pattern bigger. Around here, I'm gonna bring her in and tighten her up. Same with the bottom. I'm gonna keep the bottom right on the edge of that line. Going for a tighter pattern on the bottom, on the side right here, but not the top. We'll run this guy a little bit bigger too. Bring her out quite a bit. All right. Now we have something to play with. Make sure it's gonna be the right one. There should be. So now we got most of this clean, but we basically, the glass gets damaged by people working around it, and then you can feel it with your blade or hear it. It'll be pretty darn obvious, but it's always good to check for that, especially if you like scrub padding things, which I do. On older stuff, not a bad idea to run a razor. There we go, nice and clean. Didn't feel anything there. That's a smooth glass, people. I mean, it's kind of like a fine wine, you know? It's so smooth. Yep, very smooth. Very, very smooth. There's so many analogies for smooth. We're not gonna do it. We're just gonna let it ride, and you can think of your own. So squeeze in top to bottom. Everything looks good. And I feel pretty good about that. Get her a little wet, boop, 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 boop. Notice how I'm not hosing it down, because if there isn't any dirt in there, because it is so old that I missed, if you hose it down, it's just gonna drip and pull all that out from those deep crevices. Pull the liner off, get her wet. So when we're putting this on, I'm just gonna drape it over the top of the metal here, and I'm gonna line up my bottom. There we go. So I got all this exposed. Totally cool. I'm not even worried about it, and you know why? Because I cleaned it so thoroughly, but there's a reason to this madness. Oop, there we go. So it's okay. I'm just not gonna push too much on the top. I don't wanna force the film into the frame. I'm just gonna get it close. All right, so the bottom's lined up really nice. All that water's coming out, dripping on this towel. I'm gonna soak some of it up real quick so it gets all that channel. And we'll be back in a second, but we're gonna let this tack up. And then we'll get on to the next part. But basically the reason I like doing this, I'll get these two quarter windows on both sides, just like this. And then I'll tint the roll-up windows. By the time I'm done with the roll-up windows, these are tacked up and they're pretty much ready to be trimmed up, and that's what we're gonna do next. Kind of like doing flat glass, if you've ever done that. But yeah, so we'll get back to it. Just give me a sec, and I'll let this tack up. All right, we're back. It's probably been about, I don't know, 15 minutes. You know, you can let it sit a lot longer, and it's just gonna tack that much better, so it's not so loose. This is still a little loose, but I'm gonna still give her a nice easy trim. Shave down that edge. There's that guy. So like this one, I was saying like flat glass, essentially one of the reasons you don't push it up, or when you're squeegeeing, you're not pushing all the water up in this channel. It's because it'll flow back down and then get dirt in there. Even though you cleaned it really well, I mean, there's probably still gonna be something in there, so I just let it sit, let the water come down and then drain right down there. So we're gonna use a little bit of blade, just like that. And I'm gonna angle my blade inside this channel that that has a nice V in there already. And with some steady pressure, we're just gonna trim her down. Just like that. Got a little guy right here. We will get rid of that real fast. There we go. Actually, we'll grab my squeegee first, make sure this is all sitting up good. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Take my hard card, give her a quick little bump. Make sure all that water's out of that channel, which it is. Make sure all this is laying nice and flat. All right. Wipe her down. Close her up. So as you can see, it's a super tight fit, really tight pattern. almost zero light leak, and the edges are nice and tight and crisp. Inside here, can't pull it back, so that's good. It's just right on the edge. So that's how you get a really tight fitting, clean pattern, which is, there's something right there, a little speck. I'll just use my finger. Yeah, now you can't really tell it's there. So okay, there's a speck right there. But aside from that, it came out really clean for a 94 dirty Ford. That's how I do it. There's multiple ways of doing it. Depending on the application, sometimes I'll do it differently. But very tight, very clean. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. But there's no wrong. There's just what works good for you. You know what I'm saying? So okay, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. You have yourself a good day and happy tinting.